Hi all, I'm Atal Pratap Singh, studying in class 7th of Delhi Public School, Bangalore North. So today's project is Atal Rehabilitation and Training Buses for the Poor and Homeless. So let's start. Student details. I am Arpit Pratap Singh, studying in class 7th of Delhi Public School, Bangalore North. My team name is Demacurus. Project 1. Rehabilitation buses for the poor and the homeless. So we all know that there are millions of people who are homeless in India, and this is a rising concern. To combat this, I have designed a solution of using old decommissioned buses and converting them into homes for the homeless people and train those people in various skills so that they can become financially independent and can live their own lives. So, what is our problem in detail and what resources do we have to solve it? Sources show that BMTC has decommissioned 2,233 buses since 2014, and figures show that Bangalore has about 597 slums as of 2013. On top of that, there are 75,000 known people who sleep on the roads at Bengaluru at night. As per NULM guidelines, Bengaluru, with a population of 1.2 crores, should have 120 night shelters, each with the capacity to accommodate 100 people. This means that Bengaluru should have night shelters, which in total can accommodate 12,000 people. In spite of that, the total number of functioning night shelters in Bengaluru is barely 8, which is too low from the original number. And the data above is official data and is very likely less than the original number. This is where the problem worsens. Due to them being so poor, they cannot send their children to school. This is why this poverty cycle repeats itself again and again, and they are not able to break the cycle of poverty unless we do something about this. So, what are the benefits of the project that I am going to suggest? So first, this rehabilitation plan will bring people on the streets to such a position that they are financially independent. The best thing is that 50,550 people approximately can be rehabilitated at a one time using 2,233 buses, which is exactly equal to the number of buses BMTC has decommissioned since 2014. This is very efficient as the buses will be maintained and the food will be cooked by the inhabitants itself. It is also efficient as it can accommodate many people at once. Making people financially independent means that place for new people is vacated every year. Other secondary benefits include this will lead to trained personnel in various jobs which will ensure greater productivity and greater quality of work. Another secondary benefit is that this will lead to a greater literacy rate, better education, healthcare, and better accessibility of government files, reduced poverty rate, reduced rate of homelessness, less wastage of decommissioned buses, and all of this in a very low budget. And this is the best part of it because half the things will be reused. There will be no need for extra money or a lot of money to be spent on this. So, what is my solution to the problem? My solution to the problem can be divided, subcategorized into three parts. The first part is modifying the decommissioned buses for the occupants. The second part is resettling the inhabitants, and the third part is the rehabilitation and the training program phase. So, 1. Modifying the decommissioned buses for the occupants. If we modify a bus as my idea, then such a bus can accommodate 25 bunks each. We might need to make something like this image for people to sleep in during the nights. These can function as beds and places where people sleep. If we use this technique, then 25 people can easily fit and live in a single bus if one person occupies one bunk. Some buses can be converted into showers and toilets, whereas other buses can be converted into kitchens. So if we remove 100 buses for toilets and 100 buses for classroom, we get 2033 buses out of 2233 buses. If one person occupies one bunk in 2033 buses, then 50,825 people can be comfortably accommodated in them. If one person occupies a bunk, this will be a huge boon to people who are homeless and beggars who have nowhere to stay. The next part of the solution is resettling the inhabitants. Homeless people can be allotted one berth per person. The children will be sent to a government school for full-time education. The adults can be trained in technical skills so that they can work in factories or the infrastructure sector. Or else they can be trained to be computer technicians or data entry technicians at government offices so that the old files can be replaced by the files accessible online for the benefit of the nation. This will also stride forward in the Digital India program. They can also be trained as ASHA health workers, which will improve the general health condition of the country, and they can also be trained for other purposes as well. And then the main part, the rehabilitation and training program phase. People will be trained as mentioned above. This will lead this will also lead to people becoming financially independent, which means that they can afford houses on rent and have their own houses in the future. This is the main point. And this is the point that we want, that people become financially independent and they can afford a place to stay, so that they are out of the roads and they are at such a place that they are financially independent. The people can leave once they are financially independent and can afford their basic necessities in a house of rent. If in future, if they need employment, they can approach the rehabilitation center from where they got their training for employment. Thank you. Now I shall show you a model of the bus that I propose.
So, this is the visual mock-up of the bus form as in the idea. Its name is the Atal Rehabilitation buses for the poor and the homeless. We can use old BMTC buses and modify them as shown in the video. The doors and windows can be left as it was in the original buses. So as usual, even this has a door and windows. 100 buses can be converted into bathrooms and 100 buses can be converted into classrooms, which leaves us with 2033 buses out of the total 2233 buses. Then comes the main part, the interiors. While modifying the buses, the seats can be removed and the interior can be converted into something like a sleeper bus, as I have done over here. If done as this, each bus can accommodate around 25 people comfortably if a person occupies one bunk, which is a lot of people comfortably living in one bus and can easily be multiplied for a very large number. If done like this, we can accommodate 50,880 people in the 2,233 buses, which BMTC has decommissioned since 2014, which is a lot of people saved from homelessness, and this can easily fulfill Bengaluru's poor and homelessness needs. Thank you.
Now we shall see some pictures of the bus.